Shavua Tov, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief with me, Rolene Marks, proudly brought to you by Lay of the Land. And just a word, this week we will only be having Israel Briefs from Monday to Wednesday, because Thursday night sees the start of Shavuot. So unfortunately there will be no Israel Brief, but there will be a lot of cheesecake consumed. Now let's take a look at those top stories making headlines in Israel, and we begin with a major gaffe in the Knesset earlier today by United Torah Judaism's Moshe Gafni. In his speech ranting about the fact that Haredi students get less of the budget for education than other Israeli students, he went on to say that he doesn't think that Eurovision star and pop idol Noa Kirel wears enough clothing. How is this related, you ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. He went on to say that his Haredi daughter does not learn about Noa Kirel in her high school. Why does this mean that she gets less of the budget? And went on to say that he would donate some of his clothes to Kirel. Well, of course, this no doubt sparked outrage. A representative from women's organization, Na'amat, said that Noa Kirel presents the beautiful face of Israel. She is all about empowerment, while Gafni represents a darkness that we will not allow here. Avigdor Lieberman, the chairman of Yisrael Biteinu and former minister of finance, went on to say, Gafni, this is not Iran. Now, the United States have expressed concerns that the National Security Minister and co-chair of Otzma Yehudit, Itamar Ben Gvir, ascended the Temple Mount yesterday morning, calling this a provocation or provocative act. Now, this act was also condemned by numerous Arab countries, including Jordan, who called it a provocative act and a violation of the status quo. While he was up on the Temple Mount, Ben Gvir said that Israel are the owners of Jerusalem and the entire land of Israel. Now, Jews can ascend the Temple Mount. However, it is understood that ministers in the government do not do so because of the very, very sensitive nature of the Temple Mount, and that whatever happens there does affect over 1 billion Muslims worldwide. Ben Gvir would have known this, and this goes into why he has become an extremely polarizing figure here in Israel. Now, staying with Noa Kirel, and during the Eurovision final with the voting, she said that the 12 points that were allocated to her by Poland were a victory over her family being killed in the Holocaust. Now, these comments did not go down well with Polish lawmakers. A Polish parliamentarian said, is this the level of Holocaust education in Israel that young Israelis believe that Poland was responsible for the Holocaust? Now, it must be noted that Kirel did not say Poland killed her family, but we cannot ignore the fact, and will not ignore the fact, that Poland is a graveyard for the Jews of Europe who were slaughtered during the Holocaust, and that Polish nationals, even though many of them were killed by the Nazis, were also complicit in the murder of Jews. The Polish government have invited Kirel to visit Poland to be educated. We are very concerned about that, because Poland is a country that seeks to revise its Holocaust past. And again, we're not saying that Poland was responsible for the Holocaust, but there were Poles who were greatly complicit in the genocide of the Jews in that country. And finally, Prime Minister Netanyahu has clapped back at Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas's comments that Jews have no connection to Jerusalem. Abbas made these comments at the United Nations last week during the Nakba Day events. The Prime Minister went on to say that Jerusalem is the heart of the state of Israel and the city of David that is over 3,000 years old. He said this while the cabinet were conducting their weekly meetings, this time in the tunnels of Jerusalem, the Kotel tunnels that are under the Wailing Wall. They are extraordinary. If you ever have the opportunity to visit Jerusalem, this is a must-do on the list. And if there's any proof of Jewish history in Jerusalem, the tunnels, the Wailing Wall, the antiquity that is discovered virtually on a daily basis is proof enough that Jews have been there since King David decided that this would be his capital. And that brings me to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. Don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. We're also on YouTube. You can find us at the Israel Brief. If you haven't subscribed, please click that red subscribe button. Let's get that news from Israel out across the world. We're on Twitter at layoftheland5 and on Facebook at Lottelsite. You guys know what to do. Like us, follow us, and all that jazz. And that brings me to the end of today's broadcast. But don't forget to join me again at Israel Brief Central for your top stories tomorrow. I'm Rolly Marks. Have a great evening.